Let's be honest, we live in a crazy, non-stop, noisy world, and in all that chaos, how do we actually hear those quiet signals of spiritual guidance? I think it's a question a lot of us are asking. So today, we're going to unpack a super practical toolkit for recognizing the signs that, well, are probably already there, just waiting for us to finally tune in.
Does this feel familiar? You know, waking up and you already feel like you're behind, like the day is just coming at you. There's a really good reason so many of us feel this way, and believe it or not, the battle for your day begins a lot earlier than you might think.
And this right here just nails the core of the problem. So much of how our day goes is decided in those first few moments after we wake up. It all comes down to what or who we allow to have first access to our minds. It's literally a fight for your focus before the world even gets a chance to rush in.
Now, this idea is a total game changer. The goal isn't to try and get some new signal from heaven. It's about learning how to tune your own receiver to a broadcast that's been playing all along. The guidance is already there. We just need to learn the language it's speaking.
So let's start right where the battle begins, in the morning. We're going to look at a 5-step strategy to fortify your mind before your feet even hit the floor. You can think of it like putting on your spiritual armor for the day ahead. So here it is, your 5-step morning armor. And these 5 Psalms, they're not just some ancient poems. No, they are active spiritual tools that people have used for centuries to face everything from, lions and giants to deadlines and self-doubt. Let's break down how each one of these actually works.
Okay, step 1 is all about setting the tone for the day. That word direct, it means to arrange, to set in order. So when you start with Psalm 5, you're making a very conscious choice about who gets first dibs on your thoughts, before the worry kicks in, before you check your to-do list, and definitely before Instagram does. You're ordering your mind under a higher authority.
Next up, you reclaim your identity. I mean, we all know this psalm, right? But it's about so much more than just provision. When you actually declare out loud, "The Lord is my shepherd," you're reminding yourself who is leading you today. And it's not your boss, it's not your bank account, and it is for sure not your anxieties.
All right, step 3 is about activating your protection. And notice the scripture says, "I will say of the Lord." You actually have to speak it. This isn't a passive thing. When you declare this psalm in the morning, you're not just reading some nice words. You are actively calling on angelic protection over your day, your home, your family, the whole shebang.
And now we get to confront fear head-on. Fear is always loudest in the morning. That's when all the what-ifs love to attack. What if I fail? What if this doesn't work out? Psalm 27 is the direct counter-argument. It replaces all those fearful questions with a powerful declaration of truth, long before that anxiety can even start to take root.
And finally, you choose your day. Now, this isn't about feeling happy, it's a decision. It's a declaration that you're not just sitting back and hoping for a good day. No, you are actively choosing to see God in it, no matter what circumstances come your way. And that is a position of power. Okay, so we've fortified our mornings. Now, let's take this same principle of listening and apply it to one of the biggest areas where people are always seeking guidance: relationships. How in the world do you know if a potential partner is the right one? The absolute crucial distinction here is between the real signal and all the other noise. The primary signal of divine guidance is described as a deep, settled peace. It's not those anxious, heart-pounding butterflies that we see romanticized everywhere. It's more of a calm knowing, a sense that you're not forcing things or trying to convince yourself. And this all breaks down into 5 really practical questions you can ask yourself. First, does this person genuinely add to your inner peace, or do they kind of steal it? Second, as you consistently pray about it, does the bond get deeper, or does the desire start to fade away? Are your core values truly aligned? And what about the wise, trusted people in your life? Do they see what you're feeling? And maybe most importantly, do they push you closer to your life's purpose, or are they pulling you away from it?
So we've gone from our inner world to our relationships, and now let's look outward. How does spiritual guidance show up in our everyday environment, often in ways that we just dismiss as, mere coincidence?
We often look for these huge Hollywood-style interventions, like a booming voice from the clouds or something. But the source material reminds us that historically, divine help usually showed up in the most mundane, ordinary settings. It was basically hidden in plain sight.
So what are the modern-day equivalents of that? Well, how about waking up suddenly between 2 and 3 a.m. for no reason at all? Or that sudden wave of calm that just washes over you during a really stressful moment? What about the near-miss accident you somehow just barely avoided? A total stranger saying the exact words you needed to hear in that moment. Or a dream that just feels so real it stays with you all day. We call these things coincidences, but could they be something more?
Now, as we start to pull all these different threads together, a really clear unifying principle emerges. Whether it's the calm you fight for in the morning, or that settled feeling in a relationship, or the wave of peace during a crisis, this unexplainable sense of calm is consistently presented as a primary signal of divine alignment.
And the second common thread here is the method. In every single scenario, from setting the tone of your morning to gaining clarity on a relationship, the recommended tool is always active prayer. It's presented not just as, speaking out into the void, but as a deliberate act of two-way communication, a way to both speak and, more importantly, to actually listen.
And finally, the outcome of all this awareness is this tangible sense of protection. From the armor of the Psalms that guards your mind, to the near-miss accidents you walk away from, the end result of learning to listen is a deep-seated feeling of being guided and kept from harm.
So, what does this all lead to? What's the point of learning to listen for all these things? Well, it's about moving from a defensive posture to an offensive one. It's really about changing how we fundamentally engage with our lives every single day.
And here is the ultimate payoff. When you start your day with real intention and learn to recognize these signs, the feeling just shifts. Life stops being this endless series of fires you have to put out, and instead of just surviving, you start to feel like you're actively participating in a much bigger, purpose-driven story.
This is the final actionable shift right here. The entire framework we've just talked about is designed for this one single purpose: to move you from a place of just reacting to whatever the day throws at you to a place of responding with the quiet confidence that comes from feeling truly guided.
So, we end with this challenge. The message is pretty clear. Guidance isn't the issue. Our awareness is. The broadcast is already on the air. The only question left is, are we tuning in?